G'day guys, it's Ben here from Solar and Sat. Today we've got Van der Land Down Under's caravan. Now Reese and Colleen have given us the go ahead to get started on their power system. So let's get straight into the workshop and get started. Okay guys, sitting right here on this trolley, I've got the full suite of Victron gear here. I'm really excited to talk to you about why I've chosen certain products over other products, why we're going to be going with a 24 volt system instead of a typical 12 volt system, and have a chat about the features we've chosen and the reason we've gone this way to fit to the inside of this Willow caravan. One of the biggest questions I get asked is, hey Ben, why have you decided to go a 24 volt system? There's a couple of reasons for that one, but starting with one of the big ones, this battery right here is a big part of it. We've got the 24200 Victron Smart Lithium battery. It's only 39 kilos and it's actually the 12 volt equivalent of a 400 amp hour lithium battery. So plenty of storage in that one there. You can run up to 5 in parallel, but we're just starting with one on this one. Coming across to my left, we've got the Victron 5024 120 inverter charger. That'll be responsible for running all the AC loads around the place, which lets the customer run an aircon at the same time as maybe running a microwave or a toaster, kettle, induction cooktop, all that sort of stuff. Come down over here, we've got two 100-30 solar controllers, and they're going to control all the solar Vince will be installing on the roof of the caravan. They'll be linked together via VE network to synchronize their outputs. Then coming over here, we've got the 12 to 24 Victron Orion DC to DC converter. That'll handle running all the 12 volt loads around the caravan, like your lights, your TV, your water pump, fridge, all that sort of stuff. Coming even further along, we've got the DC to DC converter, and that'll handle the charging off the vehicle's alternator, take it from 12 up to 24 volt. It's also programmable in case the customers ever decide they want to swap their vehicle over and the alternator is capable of more or less. You can turn it up and down to suit. Coming over here, we've got the Serbo GX and the Touch 50, which is basically your display unit of the whole system. It's connected to almost every part and it'll tell us exactly what the battery percentage is using the BMV 712 already installed in the caravan, how much solar is running through it, what your AC loads are, what your DC loads are, all that sort of stuff. Gives a good overview of exactly how much you got going in and how much you got going out. Which gives them good tracking over exactly how well their system's performing. Then in terms of protection, we've got the VE Bus BMS. This little unit here will be responsible for looking after this flash lithium battery we've got here. It'll make sure it can't get over discharged, no overcell voltages, undercell voltages. It'll turn off loads and charges individually to make sure that nothing like that ever happens and to take good care of the investment pretty much. It'll do that through use of these two battery protects, one for ins, one's for outs, and it'll also hook up directly to this inverter charger to allow it to shut on or off depending on what the system wants. Coming over here, we got the multi-control. Basically, it controls the input and how much power you want to pull from the wall. So when you're plugged into a 15 amp plug, you can allow the full 15 amps to come through. Or if you're only plugged into a 10 amp plug, it'll only allow 10 amps to run through. Now that we've had a bit of a look at the hardware we're going to be putting in, let's take a wander inside and get a bit of a plan together on where we're going to put all this equipment. Coming down to under the bed here, we'll be taking this old lithium system straight out and we're putting in the new one. The battery itself will have twice the storage, roughly the same footprint though. Then we've got the big 5 kVA inverter going in, your twin solar regulators, we've got the DC-DC charger, your servo, all that sort of stuff. But we'll be relocating this BMV 712 to a much more convenient location, as well as your Serbo Touch 50 and your inverter on-off switch and input control. We'll be putting that up nice and easy to get to. Nobody wants to be lifting their bed to turn their stuff on and off.
Hey guys, so Reese and Colleen have come in and asked us to fit as much solar on the roof as possible. We've managed to fit 6 200 watt black Shervy panels up here and 2 130 watt panels. So we've managed to run the 1.4 kilowatts of solar we've got on the roof down to the 24 volt Victron battery under the bed. We've got it running through 200-30 Victron regulators, which should be more than enough.
Thanks for showing us the inside of your van, Reese. Let's have a bit of a look under the bed where we've done the work. There it all is. Got the battery, the inverter, and all the gear tucked at the rear of it there. Start with some of the highlights of the system. We've got the big 24 volt 200 amp hour lithium battery. So as you obviously know, we've spoken about, it's the equivalent of a 12 volt 400 amp hour lithium battery, and it's only 39 kilos and obviously takes up a pretty small amount of space for what it is. And of course we've left room in case you ever want to go a second one down the line. For sure, never hurts to have too much power. Got the big 5 kVA inverter that you and Colleen have been giving a good test over the weekend.
Worked awesome.
For sure. So you said you were running, it was an induction cooktop and a kettle at once?
Correct, yes.
For sure. You've given the aircon a go and...
Yeah, everything's had a good blast. And,
for sure.
Hot and cold.
Hot and cold, yep. You gave the electric hot water system a run off it too.
Water system, which didn't take much power at all, so.
Awesome. Then coming along the back, we've got the 2 solar controllers. That handles that big, almost 1500 watts we got up there. Got the 24 to 12 DC-DC converter for running your 12 volt loads around the place. The Buck Boost 50 amp DC to DC charger, which is taking your 12 volt alternator up to 50 amps.
Yep.
You've obviously got your battery management system over there because it's not built in on these batteries, which is what lets you run multiple of them at those high currents as well. we'll give it a quick run through, show how the Touch 50 works and get the inverter and the aircon running. Colleen, show us how you use this new equipment we put in.
Yeah, sure. So, easy as, pop the inverter on. Now that the inverter's on, flick that on,
Switching a button and we're good to go.
that's it.
Cool, cool.
Easy as.
That's for sure. In terms of the monitoring too, we've got the Touch 50 up there. All numbers, everything's measured in percentage in watts, which makes it really easy for anyone to understand, even if you're not right up there with all the power equipment. You can easily see that right now, with the aircon's just turned on, it's not using a lot of power, using 47 watts. The solar's recovering that, and your batteries are sitting at 86%. Nice and easy. So you're pretty happy with the result then?
Yeah, we're stoked. We're very happy.
Extremely
Good.
happy.
That's one more set of happy customers. If you need a job just like this one, a bit smaller, a bit bigger, give us a call at Solar & Sat Bundaberg.